Hi, this is Paul from the Vendor Finance Institute. For about a year now, the hot topic of conversation amongst vendor financiers has been the Australian credit licence. The conversations have ranged from whether the whole idea is good or bad. That's probably not going to make much difference because the Act certainly looks like it's here to stay. And the other points have been whether people are going to bother getting the licence or just limit themselves to lease options where they don't currently have to have an Australian credit licence to undertake lease options. I think an interesting point came from Australia's most experienced vendor finance lawyer who recently wrote, "Anyone serious about vendor finance cannot be a one-trick pony, that is, do lease options only." From our point of view in our own vendor finance business, we would find it very limiting to have only lease options available to us, and I think people may make that decision now to avoid the Australian credit law, having to get Australian credit licence coverage. But I think as their vendor finance businesses grow, they'll come to the realisation that having those other strategies available to them would be very beneficial. Let's have a bit of a closer look at the National Consumer Credit Protection Act. The Act actually requires that anybody or any company who in the course of a business provides consumer credit or consumer credit advice to hold an Australian credit licence or to be a credit representative of an ACL holder, an Australian credit licence holder. That's basically what the Act is saying, and if we look at it a little bit more closely, we can see that you do not need ACL coverage if you plan to use lease options. This is an interesting point, and it's currently correct. An interesting story from Victoria that came through recently is a VCAT ruling from the chairman of the VCAT tribunal. Was presented with a residential lease to get these people to move out. However, the plaintiff came out with the option, and when the chairperson of the tribunal saw the lease and the option together, he declared that the lease and the option was effectively an instalment contract, and therefore said that the tribunal could not hear the case because it was should have gone to a higher court. It didn't go to a higher court because the vendor financiers didn't want to go to higher court and get the extra legal costs, and it would have been very interesting to see what the higher court made of this tribunal's decision. But it's something that is worthwhile noticing. Whether it continues on in that vein in different tribunals, and whether there's any amendments to the legislation to finally rope in lease options will be interesting to watch. But currently, you do not need ACL coverage if you plan to use lease options. So that's if you don't have to go to the VCAT tribunal, I guess. If you plan to use instalment contracts or vendor finance mortgages in your vendor finance business, you need to be an ACL holder or a credit representative. And the third point here, all vendor financiers who intend to become vendor finance joint venturers or who advertise on websites or in the media need to obtain an ACL or be an authorised credit representative. In an effort to get ACL coverage for as many vendor financiers as possible, the Vendor Finance Institute has released the ACL Application Assistance Pack, shortened to ACL Pack, and the Credit Representative Program. The ACL Pack is for people who've got the prior experience that ASIC require, and that is 2 years in the finance or credit industries. If you've got that sort of finance, been a mortgage broker in a previous life or written consumer credit contracts or applications in the past, and you've got that 2 years of prior experience, you can apply for your ACL directly, and that's where you would use the ACL Pack. That's the product for you. If you don't have the prior experience that ASIC needs, then the credit representative program will get you on your way to your own ACL license. The ASIC requirement for prior experience is currently 2 years, and 2 years as a credit representative will get you that 2 years of prior experience, and therefore at that point you'll be able to apply for your own Australian credit license. So it's somewhat of a stepping stone to your own ACL license. Further information on these two paths to ACL coverage are in following videos, and I look forward to talking with you then. Thank you.